Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to episode 2 of the Zoogleplex podcast. How you doing, folks? I'm at a different place recording than I was last episode. I'm outside, actually, so there may be a little bit more shaky, maybe some more outside sounds. But I'm doing alright, and I have a few things I'm going to talk about, of course. Why else would I make a podcast? I actually have some notes here for me to go over. So, yeah. This one may be a little bit longer, maybe a little bit shorter, depending on how I divide it up. But, yeah. Let's get right on to it. Okay, so the first thing we have to talk about here is something that I haven't actually experienced yet. It's Detective Pikachu, the movie, and I heard a lot of good things about this movie. Apparently, it's the best video game adaptation movies ever. Of course, I haven't put my own personal perspective because I haven't watched it. But yeah, so I have a few things to talk about here. First of all is the advertising they did for this. It was pretty much everywhere, but then right as it released, it kind of died out. But it was even crazier in Japan. I don't know if you saw this, but there's doing this weird sticker campaign or something in Japan where you could get stickers with your movie ticket. I thought that was really weird. Which, reminds me back in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, where you'd always hear about the, like, how Pokemon was a game of the Antichrist because evolution. That's, like, a religious thing, of course. But I don't think, like, even Christians really believe that. I think it was just, like, die-hard, like, priests and stuff. But, yeah, while we're on the subject of Pokemon here, I have a question for you guys. What's your favorite Pokemon? You might like a Generation 1 Pokemon or a Generation 2. Personally, my favorite Pokemon is actually a Generation 5, which is really uncommon. This was actually before I got back into Pokemon, so it doesn't have anything to do with the nostalgia thing. It's a legendary Pokemon. You probably heard of it if you're a Pokemon fan. It's called Cobalion. It's basically a big horse creature. It's part of a set of legendaries. On my Omega Ruby game, I had up to level 96, 97, something like that. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for this part. Hey, so I'm here again. I'm about to talk about the next segment of this episode, but I just want to say that there has been a lot of technical difficulties. This part of the recording and the rest of the podcast I'm recording is actually coming somewhere around like 20 to 30 minutes after the first part was recorded, because I've had nothing but technical difficulties. Had to uninstall and reinstall the app to be able to record again. So here I am. But on to the actual segment here. What we were going to talk about is something that may seem like a bit of a detour from Detective Pikachu that we were talking about earlier, but it's modern news channels and their tomfoolery. And as you know, for the last 4 or 5 years, modern news has just been a lot of shit. Like, a lot. It's been nothing but dramatic, hyperbole-filled bullshit. And I was really mad about this the other day. I was gonna make a rant about it on my YouTube channel, but I decided against it because it's not really that much of I couldn't really, like, make a full beefy video off of a off of just, just fake news, but it actually does make me really mad because just 5 or 6 years ago, it was not a big deal. It wasn't a problem because none of the news channels were making such, pure unfiltered shit like they're doing now. It's like a child could walk into a candy store and scrape their knee, and they could turn that into some cataclysmic event that's going to end life as you know it. Like thousands of knee cells killed, child's day destroyed from sharp shit, janky. Forgot what I was gonna talk about. Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm kind of just standing outside, so kind of just looking around at the foliage and kind of getting off track. But like I said, they can make something out of nothing. And it's just news nowadays is basically just what you want to hear. Like, oh, you want to hear that Trump or whatever, he's winning? Yeah, there you go. It's just a bunch of that nowadays. Really, and it just gets on my nerves really bad. Because you could just tune to whatever news channel you want. You're gonna hear exactly what you want to hear. I could just go out and think, I want to hear that my local politician is doing wonderful things, even though it's like corrupt or whatever. All I have to do is tune to the right news channel. I'm hearing exactly what I want to hear. That's all you gotta do nowadays, and that's fucking awful, isn't it? Right? Because back then, news channels, they didn't care about the ratings and who got it first or whatever. They just wanted to tell you the news. The big three, whatever, NBC, CBS, and the other one, I forget their names, but those were the actually good news channels for like the nightly news stuff. Now it's just shit. Yeah, and that was my modern news rant. I'm in the bathroom right now, so the audio should be a lot cooler and crisper. Whenever I add music in, it should sound a lot better. There's still going to be a little bit of background noise, but there's really nothing I can do about that, to be honest. Next is something that I didn't actually understand at first. I never looked at my notes, but it's MTV. So why I'm talking about this is because a few days ago, I woke up at like 3 in the morning, and it was on MTV. I cannot, for the life of me, remember the show that they had on there. But it was the worst thing I've ever seen. All I can remember is people yelling at each other, and there's no meat to it. There's nothing. It's just a bunch of fluid garbage. There was just... This is going to be a lot more of a ranty episode of the podcast, because most of the stuff I wrote down in my notes is just stuff that I'm mad about. But yeah, it made me so mad that I literally sat up until daylight just pondering about this. It's like a modern philosopher. I was just... Yeah. Might as well write a Rosetta Stone about it or something. Yeah. But it's so much different to what it was up until like 2002 or 2003. Back around that time, the TV shows that they did have weren't that bad. They were alright. They're pretty good. But they had actual music, so it was much better anyways. And since its creation, like 1979, early 80s, somewhere around that time, it was all good. It was all peachy. They was playing good music. Had the few shows that they did have that wasn't music were good. And then it was like 2003 or something. It's like, oh, we're not making enough money. Maybe we should make our own shows and add them. And it went all downhill from there. Though in reality, I don't think MTV would be that good, even if they were still playing music today. Unless it was 80s and 90s music, because I think most of us could agree on this. Most of the stuff that you hear on the radio nowadays is not that good. And I'm like a literal Zoomer, so I'm not biased against old music. It's the opposite. I'm biased against new music because I hate it. I need to stop talking about stuff that makes me mad, or else I'm not going to be able to finish this, because I'm just going to rant my fucking head off. But, that was me talking about MTV and how shitty it was. Or, how shitty it is, actually. It wasn't that bad back then. So, for this one may not be as long as this segment as the other ones. But, on my notes here I just have Vidya, which, reading from the little sub things I have below, is video games. I am very much what you would call a casual gamer. I have a few game consoles, I have a lot of technology, but I am not a gamer. I just want to have a little segment here to talk about it. For my favorite game, sorry about the background noise, but for my personal favorite video games, it's kind of new stuff. Some of the stuff I borderline tacky. I like the game Plants vs. Zombies a lot. I like tower defense games a lot, so that would explain it. I also like Mario Kart games and the new Mario games. Though Mario 64 is pretty much always going to be my favorite game, I think. Yeah, and speaking of the Switch, I just want to know, guys, do you guys have an issue with the Switch controllers? Specifically the left one? I have had 3 or 4 Switch controllers in the last year that I've had it. Only a year and a half, about. And I've had about 4 or 5 Switch controllers, because the left stick on the left Joy-Con breaks after only a month. Maybe 2 months at best. So, of the year and a half I've had my Switch, I've probably only played it for 50 or 60 hours total, because it keeps breaking. I've only been able to complete 3 games on it, 4 actually, though I wouldn't really count one completing a game. I've beat Mario Odyssey. I've got all the stuff in Mario Kart, besides the golden glider, I think? Is the golden wheels, I think. Anyways, I also beat Shovel Knight, which is a really good game. If you guys haven't seen it, check that out. That's a really good game. And I did a whole lot of Rocket League. I did 5 or 10 hours of that with friends. So yeah, overall, I haven't been doing much on the Switch because it's breaking constantly. So let's stop talking about shit. It's making me mad, but like I said, I'm just putting down stuff that I can think of off the top of my head. So yeah, had a little Switch rant there. Yeah, that was me ranting about video games. On to the next segment. Hey, y'all, we're parking the ship, metaphorically here, to do a quick intermission. I think this helps pacing for these podcasts a whole lot, gives your little break. If you don't want to cut the episode up into pieces, it's like you have to go take a break, then right now would be a good time. It's a lot more relaxed. After I'm done blabbering my mouth off, I'll give a few seconds of silence or whatever. I'll have some music. Last episode I didn't have music over the intermission, but I'll make sure to put some music on this episode's intermission to make it even more relaxed and chill, But make sure to stay tuned to the Zoogleplex, because in just a few episodes we have a special guest booked in, per se. I won't share any of the details. I want it to be a surprise. I don't want to split hairs either. So, just know. Maybe episode 4, 5 possibly. Maybe even 6. We'll have a special guest. So, stay tuned. So we're starting back up here. On to our next segment. What we're gonna talk about is a bit controversial right now, of course. But judging on the other stuff I've talked about, just looking at my notes here, it's pretty controversial in general. But here we're talking about American schools, the American education system. First, we're going to talk about and have a really big bulletin here, what they do teach. Which, they teach you basic skills, like whenever you get out of high school. They teach algebra, which you're definitely going to do. Don't worry, you're going to be out in the street. Somebody's going to put a gun to your side of your head and say, do a square root of x times 244 or something like that equals y. Do it or I'll kill you. You'll definitely use algebra whenever you get out of school. I'm totally not being sarcastic. But, they teach you how to speak English. Even when you've been speaking it for 10 years. That's gotta be useful. And yeah, they teach you science. Not enough. More than enough that you'll ever use whenever you get out of high school, but not enough if you're actually going to pursue a field in science. Just the right amount. But, besides me being a sarcastic little prick, we get on to what they should teach. How to do taxes. How to file for a loan. How to make a resume. Things that you're actually going to use whenever you get out of school. Even then, I'd say one thing they should teach you better is social skills. Because, if you're antisocial or whatever, they're going to leave you alone, which is not good because you need to be a really sociable person to get a job, depending on the field. But, yeah. Schools should teach in general stuff you'll actually use. Not stuff that you'll never use in your life. Unless you actually pursued a field in that study. Even then, they don't teach you enough to get by. Explain, please? Here we are, re-recording something, because I am outside again, of course, and you'll hear this, right? It sounds like a clusterfuck, right? That's me walking, and I just, listen to this. I was walking while I was recording this, and the whole clip, 4-minute segment, was just filled with crunching from me walking. I'm gonna stand in place here and shake around a little bit because I'm because I'm autistic. No, but seriously, yeah, we're back outside. Been hopping back and forth, making clips for this, segments for this Frankenstein's monster. It will improve over time, I hope. But we're getting on to our last segment of the day here. We're talking about something that many of you all know, very near and dear to you, and something that you may have never heard before, or heard but think it's shitty. Pun very much intended. It's YouTube poops, YTPs. For short. They're, you take an episode or a video of some sort, you do sentence mixing, where you make characters talk when things are not supposed to by taking clips of their voices. You take just random clips, mess with it. They can be really funny or they can be really shitty. They first showed up around 2004. Right, here's some crunching. I have to move. Yeah, but they first came up around 2004. And, for the first couple of years of YouTube poops existing, they were absolutely awful. But they got better over time, and, now in modern day, there's a lot of work put into them. And they're pretty good overall nowadays. That was not the case back then, but something I want to talk about, though, is an application that you can download on your computer. It's called YTP Plus. I didn't actually put this in my notes, but I'm going to talk about it anyways because it's really interesting. Basically, crunching. But basically, you put in clips, check a few boxes or whatever, and artificial intelligence will create a YouTube film. It's not a debate that it's some kind of artificial learning, something like that. But they're funny as hell because there's no method to it. There's no method to the madness. It's just a bunch of chaotically spliced together with like sound effects and stuff thrown in. They're really funny. I recommend you guys search up YTP Plus and get into them. There's not many being made right now, even though they're really easy to make. Yeah, if you guys have a computer, if you're listening to this on a computer, you might want to go ahead and install it. Download a few videos that you think are funny. Make some YTP Plus videos and upload them to YouTube. Sure they will be greatly appreciated by somebody. I watched them, so I may find yours if you make one. But yeah, that was YouTube poops. Sorry for the audio issues I have. I'm outside, you'll hear grass crunching and stuff, but at least I realized it. It's less pronounced now. So yeah. And well, here we are. We are reaching the end of our little adventure here. This was episode 2 of the Zoogleplex. Today is June 26, 2019, and I thank you for listening. Like I said earlier in the intermission, we're going to have a few special guests here, so stay tuned for later episodes. And you may find someone that I talked about before. I hope you enjoyed it, and that will be all for me. Peace out, mates.